Tell me about mommy or daddy or somebody else.
My dad is bad now.
Your dad is bad now? Tell me about dad being bad now.
There aren't many cases where kids solve a murder within their own family. But in these 3 cases, the parents are completely exposed for committing unforgivable crimes right in front of their own kids.
Mom, everyone, I get more 7.
An AK-47? Okay.
Starting with an otherwise normal evening where the kids are watching TV until a man walks in, clearly drunk and holding a loaded pistol. The kids, too stunned to speak, just watch as he heads to the kitchen where their mother was making dinner and shot. Just like that, the intruder believes she's done for and leaves. But unfortunately for him, the mother, bleeding helplessly, manages to call 911 for help. When officers arrive, they find her with 2 bullets in her abdomen and another in her leg. So she was immediately airlifted to the hospital. Now it's a race against time, as every passing second lowers her chances of survival. Simultaneously, officers immediately launch a manhunt for their number 1 suspect, her own husband, Julian Valenzuela. He reportedly fled the scene in a red sedan. But as many cops focus on tracking the vehicle, 2 officers decide to check his home, hoping to find him hiding there.
Yeah, it's wide open front and back. It's cluttered, just abandoned.
Los Cruces Police Department, anybody inside the residence, come out to the sound of my voice!
You can't get into these things. Ugh. 85049 on Lester and Shannon. Jesus Christ.
After searching the rest of the apartment with no sign of the suspect, the officers start to head out, disappointed, until finally they received a lead. A red sedan matching the suspect's car is approaching their location. So, the officers waste no time in pursuing the suspect.
The vehicle should have a black bumper per the note, possibly headed towards Leicester, and it's going to be a newer model.
25 southbound on a Spina, high rate of speed, just past Gardner.
Copy, southbound of Spina, high rate of speed.
Pursuit authorized. Suspect gunshot victim. Alright, he's gonna stop. He's stopping in Milton. He's got a gun! Central, he just shot me 3 or 4 times on 2-4.
Is anyone with 853?
For a few minutes, it looked like the suspect might actually get away and even take an officer down in the process, considering he's heavily armed, until he finally crashed at an intersection, bringing his chaotic escape to a dramatic end.
Show me your fucking hands! Do it now! Do it now! Show me your hands! Get off the ground! I got the dog! Stay! Oh no! Send this dog! Ready?
Right after he was apprehended, police brought him to the station to share his side of the story. But what he didn't know was that his kids were right upstairs, just above his interrogation room, and ready to expose every lie he was about to tell, and possibly put him behind bars for good.
Having those in mind, do you want to talk to me? Kind of give me your version of what's been happening and whatnot?
No, what's happening? I've been drinking for 3 days, thirsty, and I got up on fires.
Well, if you want to keep them closed and it's easier for you to talk that way and you're not struggling, that's just don't fall asleep. Was there anything other than alcohol you were drinking?
No.
What type of alcohol you drink? Budweiser's? Why for 3 days? What's been going on? You and your old lady been having some problems?
No.
Huh? What happened at the house with your wife, with Jasmine?
I remember.
I think you do, because you told them what happened.
I remember going in there and trying to talk to her.
Julian hides behind alcohol as his excuse, claiming he can't remember anything. After 3 straight days of heavy drinking, his memory and judgment are obviously impaired, but detectives can't tell if he truly forgot or if he's just pretending to. So the officers have no choice but to turn to the only witnesses left: the kids.
Tell me about mommy or daddy or somebody else.
My mom, my dad is bad now.
Your dad is bad now? Tell me about dad being bad now.
My dad, my mom,
Your dad shot your mom, and then what happened?
and my mom, they got no weapon.
Mom don't got no weapon, and then you said dad is bad now because he shot mom?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you?
Made his name.
Don't put his name.
Hey!
Okay, I won't put his name.
Okay.
Where did mom get?
On stomach everywhere.
On the stomach everywhere. What did he shoot mom with?
With his pistol.
With his pistol? What did the pistol look like?
I get more 7.
Even though Benjamin speaks clearly for his age, his story doesn't seem to add up, as there's no such thing as an AK-47 pistol. But his other 2 brothers also came up with almost the same version, which only made things more confusing for the interrogator. That was until Julian's oldest son, a more mature 10-year-old Isaiah, not only made sense of his brother's shooting story, but revealed something that might earn his father a life sentence.
Just so you know, no friends or family or anything like that get to listen while we talk, okay? Well, if at any time you need to take a break or you just need a second, let me know, okay?
Isaiah, have there been times when you heard fighting or arguing or something else at home with me? Tell me about that.
He was just arguing about my mom. Yesterday, he pulled up my mom's work and just threw a bottle on the floor in front of my mom's work.
Is that something that you heard about or something you saw or something?
I heard when she was on the phone telling someone.
Isaiah, when was it that your mom?
Today.
With this, the interrogator confirms Julian's long history of abusing his wife with clear intent to hurt her. And miraculously, after 3 days of intensive surgery, Jasmine survived. As for her husband, he was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, aggravated battery, shooting at or from a motor vehicle, and aggravated assault upon a peace officer. In November 2022, Julian was finally sentenced to just 10 years after accepting a plea deal. Unlike this next parent, facing life in prison after his stepson exposed his evil deed.
She had her little scream, and then I heard 2 gunshots. He felt sad.
Hours earlier, this little boy had stepped out of his bedroom after hearing 2 loud bangs, only to find his mother, Brandy Salenza, bleeding to death, and his stepdad, Keith Johansson, frantically calling 911.
I was in the shower. I heard gunshots, and I think my wife accidentally herself.
You see her?
Yes.
Is she? Where did she shoot herself?
Looks like in my bedroom.
Where did she shoot herself bodily?
I don't know. I can't see it.
What do you actually see?
She's laying down right next to the bed.
Where is she? From anywhere?
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Do you see a gun on the floor or anything?
Yes, I ain't moving it.
What kind of gun?
It is a 9mm.
Have you tried waking her up? Do you see any part of her body where she got that you can possibly apply pressure?
I can't see anything.
The operator tries to guide him to keep his wife alive until emergency services arrive, but Keith insists he can't, claiming he doesn't see any wound on her, wasting precious time. And by the time paramedics get there, she's long gone. So all they can do is take her body, marked with bullet wounds to the chest, for autopsy before turning their attention to the husband.
How am I gonna tell her mom?
All right, hey, listen. At this point, just listen. You're just going through a traumatic experience right now. Just relax, deep breaths. Try to just collect your thoughts. All right. Listen, this is not something that you're going to be able to do like that. Okay.
Not good.
Right. So just.
I don't want nobody in my family to ever have a gun again.
Okay, Keith, just okay. You're just right now. You need to try.
Nothing nobody can say.
But as soon as the officers started to ask about the circumstances surrounding his wife's death, nothing would add up.
So you got in the shower. How long were you in the shower? What'd you say?
Maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right.
I thought it was a
How many shots did you hear?
2, and I thought it was a balloon at first. Then I heard secondary shot, and I ran out there and seen her laying there going. So I called you guys immediately.
but his hair isn't wet, and neither is his body. Then a deeper search of the house shows that the shower hasn't even been used. So naturally, the officers feel like Keith knows more about her death than he's letting on. But if that wasn't suspicious enough, they notice the house is filled with cameras, placed in nearly every room. For a couple living alone, that's strange. Why would anyone need that much surveillance inside their own home, unless the marriage was already falling apart? So the officers have no choice but to bring him and his son in for questioning to uncover the horrifying truth behind his wife's death.
20 minutes later, I heard a pop, and I was like, what the heck, you know what I mean? So I just thought, oh, it was a fucking balloon. And then I heard a pop, pop. That's how it went. Pop, pop. And I was like, something's wrong. Went out, slipped across the floor, was looking around. I didn't see her at first. And then I was like, what the heck, man? And I looked over and she was laying right there, like this. And I was like, Brandy. And at that point, there was no blood or nothing. And then I looked out and seen the guns, and I immediately called 911. I mean, immediately.
How would you describe your relationship?
The best one that I've had yet. She was everything that I wanted her to be. Everybody has their problems here and there, of course. But it was, she woke me up, she made breakfast, she had my back,
Although Keith describes his family life as perfect, it's almost too good to be true. And as the interrogation goes on, Keith slips up. And that one mistake might just be the reason he spends the rest of his life in prison.
She had this online thing, that she admitted to. I've been flirting online, but whoopee. Who cares? You didn't do nothing physically.
When did that happen?
Last week, and I was like, okay, so all of her life she had that problem, she was addicted, and she was gonna see if she could see help. Which ain't a big deal to me. It's not like I'm going to meet up with somebody,
Yeah, sure.
That's about it with that. But our relationship-wise, awesome relationship. We can talk to each other, which is very rare.
Clearly, Keith wasn't nearly as okay with Brandy seeing someone else as he liked to pretend. And what he fails to mention is the kind of husband he really was. Keith controlled every aspect of her life, all the way from her social circle to her financial stability. She wasn't allowed to work, wasn't allowed to have friends, and was constantly manipulated by him. Slowly, all these details are revealing a much darker picture, along with a potential motive for why Keith might have wanted his wife dead. And while the interrogation continues, officers have been reviewing footage from the cameras inside the house. What they're about to find would completely shatter Keith's version of events.
Too many chances, man. Too many. Show a cop these videos. I'd rather be in prison. I could call one of my homies and make sure you both die.
Why?
Sure. I gave up everything on a chance. Somebody lied, cheats, does this and that. And I won't get me out of here. Or you ain't waking up. I want to just hurt you and be safe. God knows you deserve it. Just to use it. You know what? I'm gonna leave it here to haunt you. Maybe one day you will.
At this point, all fingers are pointing at Keith, but he already anticipated that. So before the interrogations began, he proactively made sure to hammer the fake story into his son's head. Unfortunately for him, however, he didn't realize that kids are extremely truthful.
She went to the hospital.
Oh, tell me about that.
She was, my dad was in the shower, my mom was in her bedroom, and she accidentally shot herself. She had a little scream, and then I heard 2 gunshots. And I know it was nobody with her, it was just her.
Did somebody tell you that?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
My dad.
Your dad told you that nobody was with her, it was just her?
Yeah, in her bedroom.
Thank you for telling me that. What else did you hear? I know you said you heard a little scream.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you heard Mommy scream?
I felt sad.
At last, things were starting to line up, and then the autopsy findings revealed that this is anything but suicide. Medical examiners discover the shot came from about 3 feet away. There's just no way she could have shot herself from that distance. And just as the detectives are piecing everything together, the footage recorded on the morning of her death is finally released.
I love you. No, I do.
The footage starts with his wife making breakfast for their son while he tells her he loves her. Little does he know that would be the last time he'd ever speak to her. Then, an hour later, an argument breaks out between Keith and his wife in the living room before she heads into their bedroom with him to continue. Moments later, Keith is seen pacing around the living room alone while calling 911. Completely contradicting his earlier story about being in the shower when it happened. So now it's clear beyond any reasonable doubt that he murdered his own wife in cold blood. Keith was consequently arrested and charged with first-degree murder. After more than 2 years of trial, he's finally sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Unfortunately for this next 7-year-old girl, she didn't just expose her evil father, she had to witness the gruesome death of her mother with her own eyes.
There was blood everywhere. On my door, on the floor.
What did the robber look like?
He looked like my dad.
It's around midnight when 7-year-old Charlie Clayton wakes up to strange, frightening noises coming from her parents' bedroom. When she finally gathers the courage to see what's going on, she's horrified to find a masked figure viciously hitting her mother with a pipe-like object. Paralyzed by fear, she hides in a corner and watches as her mother takes her final breath. The killer then leaves the house. About 20 minutes later, Charlie's father walks in to find his wife dead on the floor. So he did what any husband would do, called 911.
911, what's your emergency?
Help me, my wife is dead.
How long has she been down?
I don't know, I just got home.
Is she breathing at all? Nothing?
No, cut me.
Okay, is she beyond CPR?
Yeah.
Following the 911 call, first responders rushed to the scene, but upon their arrival, they were met with a gruesome sight that told the story of the victim's final, painful moment.
Oh, okay. She got in the wall and the steps. Looks like she was attacked in bed.
To the officers, it looked like planned work, and they knew they had to move fast if they ever had any hope of catching the killer.
Tom, where were you when this all went down?
Playing poker with my buddy.
Okay. She was home alone?
I came home and my daughter said there was a robber in the house and she saw them.
Okay, come on out here, man.
The father, later identified as Tom Clayton, tells police he wasn't home when it happened. He says he was out with friends. He claims it must have been a robbery gone wrong. And interestingly, his daughter's story seems to match his. But something about it doesn't sit right with detectives.
Better. On the wall. Want to make sure there's no forced entry anywhere else. I didn't see any. Did you see any? I didn't see any when I was in there. I'm wondering if he had a domestic with her. She face planted.
Yeah.
But boom. Then he puts her on the kitchen. In her face, you could see how her face is beat in.
Okay.
Husband.
Not only was there no sign of forced entry to support Tom's robbery claim, but not a single item was missing. At this point, all fingers point to a domestic violence case. But the police still had to prove it, so they decide to interview a neighbor.
Look, I was down asleep. He knocked on the door. He asked my wife if we would take the kids. He said, Derek, come with me quick. I got in the truck and he flew back over.
Okay. Do you know, is there any problems here? Have you ever seen any problems here?
I haven't.
From what they gather, there's been no signs of domestic violence. The couple's been married for over 8 years, living a happy life, raising 2 kids, and even jointly ran a successful business with no apparent motive for Tom to harm his wife. Then, to really clear Tom's name, he has an alibi confirming he was out the night his wife was murdered. So the officers have no choice but to shift their focus, and they decide to question the only witness at the scene, 7-year-old Charlie, hoping she remembers what this so-called robber looked like.
Oh, Charlie, do you know why we brought you here today? Okay, we're gonna have to talk a little bit about last night, okay? Or if I ask a question that you're not certain about or that you don't understand, can you let me know? Okay, all right.
There was everywhere. On my door, on the floor. I thought she was dead when she was laying on the ground, and Daddy was out playing cards. We were basically alone for like 20 minutes. Then he came home and he was like, oh my god, because he saw my mom on the floor with blood all over.
Can you tell me what he looked like?
He was wearing jeans, a black long sleeve shirt, and a mask.
What did the robber look like?
He looked like my dad.
And why do you say that? How did he look like your dad?
The mask and his shoes.
How about the size of him? Was he a big guy or was he a little guy?
The size of my dad.
Did the robber say anything?
Barbie didn't say anything because what if it was my dad? He could recognize his voice.
The daughter's statement not only matches the evidence found in the house, it makes the cops question everything they thought they knew about the case. Investigators continued to dig deeper into the couple's relationship until they uncovered something that could put Tom away for life. Because not only had Tom been cheating on his wife months before her death, he also had discovered she'd recently taken out a life insurance policy worth $1 million. Then, once DNA tests confirmed their worst suspicions, Tom Clayton was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. On February 23, 2017, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.